God damn it. Fuck. Are you talking? I can hear nothing.
Brad, can you hear me now? All right, folks, we're fighting through some technical difficulties here. This is crazy. Let me know if you can hear me out here, folks, and we will we'll keep going on. Brad, can you hear?
I can hear you now, Mike.
Okay, perfect. So, Brad, can you talk a little bit about, because of Illinois not shooting particularly well and Ivisic, with not having Tomislav out there, can you kind of talk about what defense Nebraska is using to make this even a harder night on the Illini?
Well, they're switching every ball screen out front. And we've talked about that many times, about if you're going to play against Illinois, that's what you want to do, because they don't take advantage of the switches, and they definitely can't take advantage of it without a post guy. When Merez was out there, if you notice, they don't even go with him when he goes inside. They just have a weak side help down there. And they have, they just have the weak side guy. They weren't even really tagging him. He was just standing in the lane wide open, but he didn't run to a spot where he could get the ball and do something with it. He ran to the a place where he was not. They can't make that pass. It's just lack of understanding of spacing. Then the other thing they do, when you do penetrate, all that help really helps from the weak side, so you can make that pass across, and it gives up. That's why Nebraska gives up 49% of their shots from three, because when you reverse the ball, it's a wide open three. But you have to make them, and you have to make them, because here's the thing, and people are like, well, stop shooting threes. Well, they're allowing you to shoot threes. So you can just drive into the basket and run into these guys, and it's not like they're going to jump over them and hope for a call, or you shoot wide open jump shots. The problem is you have to make wide open jump shots. And the other problem you have to do, you just have to make 30% of your wide open threes. The other problem is you can't turn the ball over on lackadaisical, sloppy, low passes that Jaak Jonas has been doing. I'm sorry, that cannot happen. It happened twice. They had 3 pick twos, and one of them they fouled on. So that's 7 points on 3 possessions. That's huge. I mean, look at what's the score, 40-31. Those 7 points you gave them without even having a chance to set up your defense. That's the difference in the game. And, then at the end, they let 2. All he did was, they jumped those handoffs. It was just silly. It was like 5th grade basketball. After they did it once, you'd think you'd adjust the second time, but they didn't. And Bryce Williams gets 2 dunks. So that's just, and I'm sorry, but they did not. There was no cutting. Everything's off the ball screen, which will work against some defenses, but there is no off-ball cutting. Cut to the rim. Your guy turns his head to go help cut by him, get a cut. I mean, you have to also go back where you came from. They always go the same direction. You saw KJ get a wide open 3 because he went misdirection. Misdirection is so effective against that, because they're switching. So that guy's going under, boom, switch back, and you're there. It's just, but it's frustrating because I can't believe Illinois didn't watch film on them. I mean, it's not like they changed. The only thing they changed was they didn't tag Merez when he rolled, because they weren't worried about him scoring.
Kid,
stop shooting the damn 3 ball. Here's my answer to that. You're wide open. Take 2 or 3 dribbles in. Quit jacking up the 3 ball. There's a reason they're giving it to them. They're 3 for 18. Stop shooting them. If you're going to shoot a 22-foot, because I'm telling you, don't be mad at me. I'm not Stevie Wonder. I'm not Ray Charles, damn it. I can see. Take 2 or 3 dribbles in and shoot a 15-foot shot. It's a much better chance of going in, because right now this isn't working. And honestly, I don't blame Nebraska for doinking them, because they're not making them. And for some reason, some guys just need to be pulled to the side and say, look, you're not on a heater, quit. Because to me, those are turnovers. And this is a bad Nebraska team. I mean, it is. And people talking about the defense, they look sloppy, and I will say it again for the 3rd game in a row. KJ is the guy that's going to make all the money on this roster for NBA, but the most valuable player on this team is Tommy Ivisic. I'm going to say it. He is too important. They can talk about him not rebounding or him not making threes. KJ is better when he's playing. The game is different. He keeps you honest. He can rebound. And Nebraska doesn't have anybody on their roster right now that could guard him. And it stinks. It's part of the game. Can't do anything about it. But until he's healthy, this is what you're going to see all the time. Now, they may come out the next game and make a bunch of threes. And when shots go in, it looks great. But to me, you got to make adjustments. I don't want to see guys just come down off no pass, just chucking up threes when you're not good at it. Because they're not. I don't care about what they were supposed to be like. They're not.
Well, it's been interesting because rarely do you see a team hold their opponents to sub 40% and are down by 9 points. Illinois has had some defensive lapses, but my goodness, on the offensive end of the court, we remember the discussion we had, almost every year when I start going, maybe they just aren't a good shooting team.
They're not.
And Brad hit it because they've had jump shot after jump shot that are wide open. You got to tell the guys to either hit the damn thing or do something different. I don't know, Brad.
Mike
this is as bad as I've seen.
Mike is right. Brad's right to a certain extent. They're wide open, and do something different. Here's the option.
Well, they may be wide open on purpose now.
Yes, they are.
Here's the thing. If you didn't know the way Nebraska plays, this is what Nebraska does. Teams shoot threes. They allow you to shoot threes.
Yep.
But everybody else in the Big Ten is shooting 38% from three, and Illinois is shooting like ass from three. I don't even know what it is. Let's be honest. Teams are shooting 38.1%. They're 18th in the conference in defending the three, and yet Illinois is, showing that they can keep you from making threes by just leaving Illinois open in many cases. So
17%.
It's bad. Now the other thing I would say is that Illinois has to do defensively. I thought they were okay, but then when you start moving guys around, at the end it was bad. You know what I mean? The defense got bad at the end when you have Merez on the floor, and then you have and Hummer, and instead of putting like Davis and Booth up there, it's just different, right? And Hummerhouse gets a lot of grief, but I thought they played better with him when he could play the five at least. They had a little bit. He blocked a couple shots. He contested a couple things. But then when you take him out, now you're beyond Merez. You're beyond. You don't have. Yeah. You're down. I was thinking about putting Jason Jaxtus in there because I know he can block shots. I know he can defend a rim. So I don't know. But Illinois just has to play better. And I still goes back to me. You can't have the sloppy turnovers. It's very similar to other games when they just make those. It's one thing if you're getting trapped or forcing whatever.
Yeah.
Illinois just makes turnovers just off a sloppy
unforced,
pass.
Just unforced turnovers.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, and this isn't because he's my favorite player. The last tie was 2020 when Draymond had the N1. We all three of us, we have the minutes, and I can see that. Keep his ass on the floor. I don't care if he gets more minutes than player X and Y because of whatever reason. If he's going to make something happen and get a foul and one and attack the basket and get a rebound, like I've said before, win the game. The kid brings energy. Now, it's halftime, and I'm not crazy. Yes, 7 points, and KJ has 11, and you know what? He's only played 2 or 3 less minutes. Give him more minutes. Keep him on the floor. Unless he does something, if you have to switch KJ and Kylan out to keep him on the floor, until he does something to not deserve it, keep him on the floor. And one more thing, Will Riley, I love you, man, but the kicking the legs out, shooting a three like Rumpelstiltskin, I'm kind of tired of seeing it. I
didn't realize Rumpelstiltskin had that form on his sleeve.
Sorry, man.
And a lot of guys, you learn things about basketball.
Shoot the ball, man. He has a beautiful shot.
Don't Rumpelstiltskin it.
And you can defend. I actually, there are little things that I liked. I will say this. I don't even know that this half, the one thing, I don't think this was lack of effort in this game.
No.
I mean, I think it was lack of like execution, and they didn't know what they were. I mean, they look so confused. I mean, they don't have an assist, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they don't have many baskets, so that would explain not having many assists. They could have assists, I guess, if they'd make shots.
Oh my
but they're
gosh,
taking
they
too many,
don't.
no assists. Yeah. So, and some of that is like not making shots too. But they have to get better. They have to get better at moving the ball, cutting, moving, and there's never a screen. Have you noticed every other team runs guys off screens off the ball?
Yes. Yep.
Illinois doesn't do any screens off the ball. And so run a screen off the ball to set up your ball screen. So then that guy's out of position defensively. Those little things, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand why. And it helps when you have a guy like KJ who's so great in ball screens. That's fine. But they're just switching it, and you can't post up the other guy because they can't score in the post. So it doesn't really help you, and they aren't even worried about Merez. So if they're not going to take advantage of that, you might as well just keep switching. And then, but I just would like to see them have some movement off the ball. Give me some movement off the ball. And, and so, here's the weird part. If Illinois comes out and they have a hot streak and hit 4 or 5 threes in the first, 5 or 6 minutes, they're probably right back in the game, probably ahead. And we're going to, it'll look better, but there's still things that they have to be, they have to fix if they're going to keep, if they're going to win convincingly. And I understand that, yes, they're missing Ivisic, but that's not an excuse for being this pathetic.
Brad, I got to be honest with you. This is probably the worst half of basketball they've played this season, because other times they were playing against good teams, and you could go, well, good teams. This is not a good team they're playing against. And I just, it's been as disappointing as anything that I've seen.
And I hear that Nebraska's 53rd on KenPom, and this was supposed to be a 4-point win in their predictive model. I think, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Nebraska.
We're not playing Alabama, is my point.
But
it is a Alabama or Tennessee.
But this is a quad 1-win opportunity for them. It's a quad 1-win opportunity.
Yeah.
And to me, Mike, I don't have amnesia. The worst loss I've seen was still USC. That was painful.
Yeah.
Those like going to the doctor.
The one difference
I like USC's talent better than this.
I do too. But I think USC was at home. I guess I could say that. Yes. I thought USC was an effort thing, though. This isn't really an effort thing. It's just a completely stupid thing right now.
It's a completely 3 for 18 from 3. But you know what, though?
I just keep doing it. The 2 dunks at the end of the half, I was just like, oh my God, how do you allow the same move?
They're so over, and I get they get so over the top against some of these guys who can't make threes too.
I agree.
I mean, I get if it's a CGN, or maybe you don't want Hoiberg, but Hoiberg's not going to shoot off the dribble 3 very often. But still, those are the guys you don't want to leave. You don't want to do this. But they're doing this for everybody. So
yeah, we're gonna let you guys go. But tonight, because Brad is live and everything, we're gonna go right after the end of the game. So we will be back live at the end of the game. Go Illini? ?